What a week, eh? We could have talked about all that Twitch stuff, the new Far Cry, all that Halo news. There was quite a lot to pick from. But last week, Epic Games announced that they'd be bringing back one of my favourite franchises. So let's forget about E3 and the state of the industry and all that other nonsense. This week on The Point, I'm going to spend 5 minutes telling you why Unreal Tournament is one of the greatest games ever made. To adequately appreciate the importance of UT, we have to remember what first-person games were like pre-99. At this stage in the game, the console FPS was still trying to find its feet, but the PC first-person genre was thriving. The previous year had seen the release of Half-Life, and though single-player was the order of the day, many popular franchises were living longer through multiplayer. Doom and Quake had traditionally ruled the roost, but modding communities were creating whole new multiplayer experiences out of existing single-player games. Developers were taking note that multiplayer was an exciting new growth area, and when the news came out that Quake 3 was going to have no story mode in favour of being an arena shooter, players welcomed it with open arms. It's not to say that games didn't have multiplayer back then, but they didn't really have bots. Bots were usually made by community modders months after a game became popular online, and the quality of their AI was pretty, well, hit or miss. Around this time, Epic Games were enjoying success with the release of their first major game, a sci-fi first-person shooter called Unreal. Epic lead programmer Steve Pollage was working on some bots that the team planned to release as an expansion pack for Unreal, known simply as the Bot Pack. But once Mark Rain got wind of just how good the bots were performing, he demanded the team roll with the concept and develop it into a full retail product. But it's reductive to say that UT was just Unreal with multiplayer bots. Unreal Tournament brought several major innovations that immediately made it a PC classic, even though it was released the same week as the most anticipated multiplayer FPS of that time. Unreal Tournament was released 2 days before Quake 3 on November 30th, 1999. So why is it that Unreal Tournament is such a fondly remembered game? Well, it's not just for one reason, it's for dozens. Unreal Tournament had a lot going on. Well, first off, the team at Epic took the fantastical environments of the single-player game and applied them to multiplayer map design. Back then, maps were pretty utilitarian, the focus being on balance and flow. Basically, they were kind of boring. But Unreal's maps were beautiful, unique, interesting, and bloody mental. You could fight on a spaceship flying through space, or on massive skyscrapers in the stratosphere, or in a castle, or this weird meteor thing with 2 more castles on it. I think if you were to release Facing Worlds today, people would complain that the sniper rifles were too OP, but back then we were too busy enjoying the fact that it's 2 bloody castles spinning in space while all this sick drum and bass plays. You just don't care. And as Morpheus, Deck 16, Phobos Moon, so many classic maps. There were jump pads, pressure chambers and acid pits. There was low gravity and water to fight in. Some of the maps were mission based, others were deathmatch, some were capture the flag. There were so many ways to play. Plus the bloody thing shipped with community tools on the disc, so extra levels were just a download away. User created maps would come on magazine cover discs and allow you to keep the game fresh for months and years to come. This is how developers used to create brand loyalty. This is how they used to extend the lifetime of their games. Now we have to pay for extra levels, and most of the time all the good ones were already in the game. Not Unreal Tournament, fantastic maps. Plus, the weapons were bloody fantastic too. There's a gun that shoots shrapnel, a gun that shoots goo, a gun that shoots fucking razor blades. And they all had multiple fire modes, so you could gangsta lean with your pistol or make goo mines. Hey, remember that gun that shoots fucking razor blades? Right click now. The razor blades explode! The rocket launcher had like 12 goddamn firing modes. The bots were clever, the music was awesome, there was so many modes and mutators, so you could apply them to any single map and they'd change up the level, like every time you killed someone you got fatter.
Congratulations, you are the winner.
It was full of fantastical environments and weird traps and unique aspects to every map. And crucially, unlike other multiplayer shooters at that time, it was actually relatively accessible. Unreal Tournament was such a breakthrough for the genre that the series was never really likely to reach that type of peak again. And when I go back and play it, it reminds me of just how exciting first-person shooters were then, especially multiplayer ones. How games stretched believability and didn't care about story and just had bloody fun. I'll be honest folks, this week's episode was supposed to be about the whole franchise, but I wasted the entire runtime of the show just spewing about the first game. There's so much to talk about. I want to talk about how UT03 looked awesome and had that really dumb American football mode. How UT 2004 added vehicles, but not just regular vehicles, Unreal Tournament-ass vehicles with the friggin' blades attached. How absolutely incredible UT3 was, how today it basically looks like concept art for Gears of War. That game had like hoverboards and guns you could link together. As far as I'm concerned, it was almost the perfect game, and then some genius in the community made a mutator that turned the Redeemer into a friggin' Nyan Cat. But in the meantime, let me just say how incredible it is that this franchise continued to make jumping around crazy environments and blasting the crap out of each other just the most fun.
Epic has always been a studio with a done when it's done mentality, so take your time, guys. There are millions of us around the world with fond memories of this franchise, but we'll wait patiently for the tournament to start again.